Hey guys, season 9 is back in Real Housewives of New Jersey. We are catching up with our favorite Jersey girls. Stay tuned right here.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, yeah. Yes, guys, it is just me, myself, and I tonight. I'm going to give you everything you need to know. Review Real Housewives of New Jersey, episode 1. So excited that the girls are back, and it just feels so good. It feels so good. We have a lot to catch up on, so let's just go right ahead and dive into it. But first, my name is Chelsea Stark-Jones, and yeah, I am excited to be joining this panel. My other panel mates will be joining me later on, hopefully next week. But for right now, it's just me, and let's just run through it. A lot to catch up on. We all know what's going on with the girls currently, but let's, pick it up where the show takes off, and that's with Teresa. Teresa is fixing her lunch for her girls. Her dad's there in the kitchen. They're all chatting. It's very cute. It's very sweet. And, she's doing it all on her own, as we all know that Joe is, away in prison. And so she's doing that for her girls, sending them all off. And it's crazy. I mean, Teresa's the OG of New Jersey. And just to see how these young girls have grown. I mean, we have little Melania now, who's 12 years old. And Teresa is letting her, experiment with her hair and her nails, which hopefully that trend doesn't last long. But it's cute. Gia's a senior in high school now, so they're all just growing up. They're evolving. And Teresa's doing it all on her own. She talks about how much she misses her mom, and it's been about a year, and how hard it is for her dad still. And Dad kind of drops a little hint, maybe some foreshadowing about, he hasn't heard from her brother Joe in a couple of weeks. Joe doesn't call anymore. And Teresa, mentions that Joe was very active early on when the mother first passed away. He was around a lot, but work picked up, life got busy, and he's kind of been less around to help Teresa with their father, and less around to be around for the father. So, and it kind of seems like that's kind of like laying the basis for some of the family drama this year. But yeah, so we see Teresa working with the girls, getting the girls ready to go. But we also see her later on in the episode working out, and, really dedicated to working out. And she says that this is kind of being in the gym, working out is her stress relief. And it allows her to kind of shift her focus onto something else. And she wants to compete in a bikini competition, kind of similar to like a Tamra Judge type thing in Real Housewives of Orange County. But yeah, so Teresa is going to the gym. She has a trainer. She's eating clean. She's working out. She looks great as is. She was always very tiny, and I don't, if you remember when she was in prison, she was doing yoga a lot. So yoga was kind of her thing last season. She was Zen tree, but now she's like buff tree, I guess. So we see her working out, and I could totally relate to that. Like when I'm currently training for a half marathon, and when you're doing something and you're focused and you're honed in on it, it helps, it keeps your mind off other things. And that's what she's trying to do with this training for this bikini like bodybuilder competition. And she also kind of, says that this is kind of also because Joe's not around. Joe was not a fan of her prancing around a stage in a bikini. And now that he's no longer here, or he's here, but no longer present in their home, that she has the freedom to do so. And she really feels like she's been coming into her independence and being more herself. And, and it was kind of, it was nice, but also a little bit sad at the same time when she came to the realization that this is the first time in her life that she's been independent, and she's really had to do a lot of this on her own. Like literally everything that happened to her in such a short period of time truly changed her. Losing her mother, dealing with her father, bringing her father home with her, and Joe going away, and these girls, 4 girls, preteen teenaged years that she's raising. Like can only imagine how difficult it is. And it was funny as I was watching it, I was thinking about some of the other franchises and how they are very keen on having nannies and nannies helping out, nannies always around. And it's, I guess, the Italian woman, the Italian lifestyle where these women don't have nannies. And Teresa's doing it all by herself. Like, dad, sometimes we'll cook some breakfast for the girls or do whatever. But this is legitimately all Teresa raising these 4 young girls and helping out her father and trying to find some me time at the same time. And I just find that to be, extremely admirable. We've seen Teresa evolve so much throughout the years, and it's nice to see her really take on more of a mom. Like, I mean, she's always been a mom, but really seeing her more in the mom role, and also seeing her more in a family, like just more compassionate. I feel more for her now these last 2 seasons than I have ever previously in Real Housewives of New Jersey. Um, but so that's what's going on with Teresa. We caught up with her. Now let's get to Marge. Marge and Joe in bed talking about wanting some coffee. Now, if you know what Marge means by coffee, she doesn't mean the actual beverage. She wants some coffee. Um, so Marge, they're a hot and heavy couple, and I think it's really cute. Like, they're older in age, but you could still see the admiration and love that they have for one another, and it's very sweet to see that. And Marge is laying there, she's talking about how she wants to get like a facelift. She's ready, like her cheeks are sagging. They're not perky cheeks like they used to be. And Joe's telling her, no, you don't need it. You don't need it. But I mean, like she said, she's an older woman, and her age is kind of starting to show and reflect on her face. I think she's beautiful and quirky and cute as is. But if she wants to have a little, nip and tuck somewhere, I don't blame her for it. It's, everyone gets older. If you could fight aging, why not do it? And that's what her mother thinks as well. We see her and Marge Sr. go to a plastic surgeon, and Marge Sr., love Marge Sr., wants to get ready. She's dating, she's putting herself out there, and she just wants to look good for the guys on the dating apps. I want to know what apps Marge Sr. is on, but she wants to look good for the guys on the dating apps. So Marge Jr., as she said, she's starting from the bottom up and is getting vaginal rejuvenation. So I don't know. Is it creepy to have your daughter go with you to get vaginal rejuvenation? Is that I like at first I was like, that's really cute. Like, that's sweet. They're bonding. It's their bonding moment. But then I like thinking about it, like that's a little bit weird, right? Like, to go in there. I don't know if I'd do that with my mom. Maybe. I don't know. That's strange. Um so yeah, so Marge Sr. going, and Marge is like, I'll just use Marge Sr. as my guinea pig. I'll see how her surgeries turn out, and hopefully maybe she might go get some done down the line for herself. And then we get to Melissa. Melissa is at home. She's cooking dinner for the kids, for the husband. Joe comes in, and I I used to really like Joe. I did. I used to really like Joe. But he's just not doing it for me I mean, it's been 1 episode, so maybe, who knows, maybe he'll turn around. But this episode, I it was just that chauvinistic, like, male misogyny just thrown in my face and she's making dinner for everybody. She's setting the table. Her daughter is just throwing the dishes on the table, not really setting it. And, like, Joe just doesn't help. There's no help. There's no, like, here, let me plate the food for the kids with you. Let me help with whatever you need. Like, he's just like, I sit down, serve me, let's eat. And it's just like, wow, you know, it's just no support. And it's sad to see. And I guess, and that's also how their household has always been. And it's the Italian family, old school, like, wife cooks dinner, type of thing. But it's just like, you're coming into a new age. And there needs to be some equal partnership in that, and she's also working. She's also doing other things. So I don't know. I think it's only fair. But yeah, so Melissa is turning 39. 39, the big 39, her last year in her threes, as she says. And, she's talking about planning a birthday party. And Joe is with her. And Joe is, I think this, like, I think that, whatever. But I don't want any drama. Tell your friends, no drama. And, with these women, you kind of always are going to get some type of drama. So that was also, Melissa was like, well, Dolores and Danielle aren't getting along, but Dolores and Marge are kind of, on good terms. But so, Joe was worried about if there was going to be drama there or not, but Melissa was like, it's going to be fine. We're going to have fun. If there is, there is. If there's not, there's not. She's celebrating the last year in her threes. And then we get to our girl Dolores. Now, this one is the one, Dolores and what she's going through is the one that really just sticks out to me. Like, I was not happy for the catch up with Dolores and what's going on with her and Frank. She still lives with Frank. And I know it's her prerogative. I know it's what she wants to do, but I'm just like, girl, you've been divorced for I don't know how many years. You're still seeing David and you're still living with your ex-husband. Like, it just makes no sense to me. The kids are gone. You don't have to do it for the kids, you know? And on top of that, he's barely home anyway. So it's like, what is his purpose here? Like, why are they so codependent on one another? And then we also find out that Frank got disbarred. And he lied to her about it. And she wasn't, or not, I don't know if necessarily he lied, but he hid it from her. And, that's another time where she felt like he totally lost my trust. And I would have been pissed too. And she, flashback her at the reunion defending, oh no, he's not disbarred, like, completely naive to it. But yet she still decides to trust him. She still decides to let him live in the home. She still decides to be, chummy with him. And I get it. They have kids. Granted, they're older children, but still, like, yeah, you have kids. You want to be civil. But it's like, how could you still be so close to someone that's betrayed your trust, not once, but twice? And who knows, maybe other times that we don't know about. But like, why? And they're still in business with one another. So they have the gym, as we all know. But they are getting into flipping homes. And Dolores feels like, with him being disbarred, the money flow isn't so stable anymore. So we need to do something together to make money. Which, again, why do we need to do something to make money? Why can't you do something to make money? Why does Frank always have to be in the mix? Like, it makes no sense to me. And God bless David. I know he's barely around. But for you, and maybe that's why. Maybe this is why David doesn't come around, because Frank's all up in the mix still. Like, I just can't, it makes no sense. It just makes no sense. And Frank's a funny, charming guy, so I understand why someone would want him around. But when he's your ex-husband and you guys, your kids are grown enough to where you really don't need to have interaction with one another, like, just move on. Move on, Dolores. Let's find you someone else, because I feel like she's not really truly going to find someone else when Frank's still around, and it's hard. Like, I get it. It's hard to really let go of things and truly be alone, because she is, suffering from empty nester syndrome. But it's time to just break away and be your own woman and not have Frank, coddling you all the time. But yeah, so guys, go ahead and comment in the live chat. I would love to hear your feedback. We have Tabitha saying, she wasn't really, the episode wasn't as great as she had hoped for. And you know what? I don't disagree. It kind of picked up towards the end, but it just laid down the groundwork for, a whole lot of other things going on that's going to happen for the rest of the season. But also, hey, AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There is no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because they're completely optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. And let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. For now on, thanks for being the best fans and helping us be the ESPN of Talk TV. Thanks guys so much. Again, please be involved in the live chat, talk to us, subscribe, all that stuff. It just makes it so much more fun to be able to interact with you all. So yeah, let us get to the girls finally meeting up with one another. So first we get Marge and Melissa. Melissa and Joe go to Marge and Joe's home, and Margaret's so cute. She's like, Melissa always has food, cooking. So Marge doesn't cook, so she hires chefs to cook, and it looked delicious. It really did. So Marge and Joe are entertaining Joe and Melissa. It's the Joes. I'm just gonna call them the Joes. So the Joes and Melissa and Marge are talking very casually, having fun, and I like this relationship. I think it's a very cutesy, fun, light, but also like mentorish type relationship because Melissa also really looks up to Marge as far as like fashion and business sense goes. So I really like seeing Melissa align herself with someone that's not really family oriented, someone that they didn't grow up with. I think it's really like it's a nice fresh friendship. It's a new friendship, but it's a nice friendship. So they're talking, and Marge is talking about Danielle Staub's wedding. She's a part of the wedding planning committee, I guess, with her and Teresa. And they're talking about the wedding, and how Danielle's being a bridezilla. She's already ordered one dress, it got delivered, she's returning it, she's ordering a new dress, she wants a bachelorette, she wants a bridal, she wants all these things and whatever, everything about her wants it to be this big hurrah. And Marge is saying, she's being a little bit difficult. And, Melissa then brings up how Danielle brought up Frank's issues with being disbarred. And Marge was like, you know what? Yeah, she also said that with us too. So we see Danielle already starting to stir the pot, stirring it up. And it's just what Danielle does. It's nothing new. We know her and Dolores don't get along. And she's obviously going to say things about Dolores, regardless of if. But it's just like, she's just a leper. Like, why have her around? I don't understand it. Like, I get it. It's for the drama. It's so interesting. And it's nice to see that her and Teresa finally were able to, like, bury the hatchet. But come on, guys. We don't need them to really be, we don't need her. We don't need Danielle. But, so yeah, so Melissa, Joe, Marge, Joe all had a really great dinner. And then we get to Dolores and Teresa. They also have a little dinner together, and it was really cute. Teresa orders coffee, and Dolores is like, I'll also order coffee because I want to support you. And, I understand how hard it is. And horrible Jersey accent. I should stop while I'm ahead. so, so yeah. So they're at the dinner, they're having a good time, and Teresa brings out her food. She brings, she's on this like really strict diet, so she brings out food. And Dolores is, they're chatting, having, catching up with one another, and Teresa brings up the fact that Danielle's talking about her. Danielle's, talking about the disbarred, like Frank getting disbarred, all that stuff. And yeah, it was you see a little spark in Dolores's eye. You see her get a little bit angry and just like, why the hell is she talking about me? What's this woman's deal? And I don't disagree with her. And Dolores is also like, it's a very Italian thing where we don't talk about the big pink elephant in the room. And she hasn't really, come to Teresa and talked to Teresa about it. And Teresa took no offense to it. But it's just nothing that Dolores really feels like talking about. And she also feels like it's no one else's business, which she's right. It isn't anybody else's business. But, it's Danielle being Danielle. Dolores is a little bit weary about seeing her at Melissa's party. So, she doesn't know if she's going to be evil, if she's going to be nice, if she's going to be, like, separated. So it's kind of laying in that drama right in there. And then we get to Melissa's party. Melissa has her party at Rails, which we've been there before, if you guys remember. And yeah, it looks really cool. It's in like this new like hidden cave room or something. And we're introduced to the new girls. We're introduced to Jackie, who is a friend of Marge, and Jackie met Melissa at Marge's pajama party or something like that earlier. That was like off camera, or that they didn't really feature too much of. So yeah, so Melissa invites Jackie. Jackie seems cool. She has 4 kids around Melissa's age. She seems really nice, funny, life of the party type. And then we also meet a Jennifer who is friends with Dolores, or who Dolores knows Dolores used to be a nurse for for Jennifer's husband, who's a plastic surgeon. And Jennifer tells us the story about how she was supposed to be, have an arranged marriage. She didn't want that, and she met her husband. So those are the two new girls. They both seem very nice. This is the first, time we're meeting them. It was very brief, but that's our first taste of the new girls. So I'm excited to see a little bit more drama and interesting, scoops from them. But yeah, so the party, it looked really nice. It looked fun. It looked, everyone was having a good time. Everyone was eating. Frank was very concerned about the food. There had to be food. He was hungry. Frank got his food, the bacon wrapped scallops, there was so Frank was happy. And everyone seemed to be having a great time. And then Danielle walks in. And she walks right over to where Dolores is, talking. And Dolores, being the bigger person, decides to get up and just walk away. Not the type of drama we want from Jersey, but I guess, we'll get it later on. But Dolores walks away. And I think that was a wise thing for her to do at that moment, especially because it totally would have brought the whole mood down. Everyone was having a great time. And, yeah, it totally would have just, sunk the ship. So Marge and Dolores end up talking to one another, and, Dolores brings up the fact that she's not very happy with Marge's friend, Danielle, for, talking crap about her. And Dolores agrees with her, and she's like, what, she's my friend, but what's wrong is wrong, and she shouldn't be talking about you. And that kind of, won some points over for Dolores. Dolores was like, what, this is a cool chick. I really appreciate her honesty and for calling what's right, and what's wrong, wrong. And she invites her to this axe throwing thing with all the other girls. So it seems like, Dolores and Marge have a clean slate from last year. And I think it's totally because Siggy's gone. Thank God, I could not stand Siggy. And so, yeah, they're going to be friends, I hope, because I think they would be really good friends. I love Marge. I think Marge is great. I think her mother is great. I think she provides this great comic relief. I think she's a good person, like just nice. Like, I don't think she's really that dramatic. And like, that's how Siggy tried to like pin her to be last season, to be kind of like that drama pot stir. And I just don't see that from Marge. And so I really do hope that Marge and Dolores are able to have a good friendship. And Camille in the chat, that shower scene was gross. You're right. It was gross. But again, that just speaks to the fact, they're older, adults, and they still love each other. And I hope at that age, I could still have a nice shower with my man. So good for them. It's gross, but good for them. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, guys. So we got some off-season gossip. Some things went on this off-season. First, let's talk about the Giudices. Joe will be deported after he completes his prison sentence. It's been announced. It's been said, which I think is totally screwed up. He served his time. Like, let him at least apply for, citizenship. But Teresa said that she is appealing. Her and their legal team will be appealing this whole thing. And that they're just taking it one day at a time. Her and her girls are taking it one day at a time. The girls are devastated. Teresa says she's devastated. And, they haven't looked past the appeals process. So they think, hopefully they could get it appealed. But if they can't, she doesn't know what they're going to do. She's just staying present in the now. And then moving on to our girl, Danielle Staub. It's a short-lived marriage, people. It was a short-lived marriage. She lasted a nice, strong 4 months, and it was over. And I mean over. So yeah, I mean, we'll see this wedding drama kind of play out throughout the season. I'm hoping seeing some more Bridezilla moments, seeing her crash and burn, all that good juicy stuff that we want. But yeah, 4 months and it's over. And she says she's keeping the ring. Keeping it. I don't know. Do you keep the ring? I mean, if you're married, so I could see why, but 4 months? Like, I wouldn't want the ring. Obviously, something horrible happened if it only lasted 4 months. Why would I want a reminder of, I don't know. But Danielle wants it. Danielle gets it. All right. So, and then for like our little special segment of the night, I'm just going to talk about my favorite moment of the episode. And it was either the shower scene with Marge and her husband, but I decided to keep it, a little bit more fun, lighthearted, not so gross. And drunk Melissa, people. I mean, drunk Melissa is the best. The best. I love her. It's her birthday. She can drink however much she wants to. She's yelling at Joe, you make the crumbs, I make the cake. She's jumping on Teresa. Let's see how strong you really are. And just having a good old time for her birthday. And, she's like, if people want to throw cake, they could throw cake. And I don't blame you, sister. Happy birthday. Love it. Love Melissa. Love her fun, wild spirit. And yeah, I guess I could get into a couple of predictions for how I see the season shaping out.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Yes. God. So, I mean, obviously we're going to get a lot of family drama this season. It's going to happen. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that Melissa shouldn't be getting the short end of the stick here. To me, it sounds like this is Joe's issue, Joe Gorga. He needs to be more involved in his father's life, and I think Teresa sees it as Melissa's responsibility to implement that, and it's not. It just simply isn't. So I think they're going to be butting heads over Joe and how Joe isn't being that good of a son or a good support system for their father. I do think they'll come around. There's no way they could get lower than how they were a couple seasons ago. So I think they'll come around. I think the new girls will I think one of the new girls, it was Jackie, will be in the mix of that drama. And then Jennifer, it looks like her and Marge are going to have a good going at it. And I like I said, I love Marge, but I also like that someone is coming after Marge's marriage and how her marriage began. Because everyone else was before just kind of tiptoeing around it. Didn't see it as a big deal, but like Marge stole someone's husband. Like, come on. But I love her. So yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of fights, a lot of explosiveness, a lot of loudness, and I'm all here for it. So, I think that's great. And I'm very excited to be able to be on this journey with you all for Real Housewives of New Jersey. I love the show, and I hope you guys love this after show. Like I said, I'm here by myself tonight, but it won't be this way for the following weeks. So go ahead and tune in. Can't wait to catch you all next week. Again, my name is Chelsea Stark Jones. You can find me at C_S Jones on Instagram and catch everything else that I'm doing in life at chelseastarkjones.com. It's been a pleasure catching up with you all. See you guys next week.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.